We back in here, 2016. No need for an intro. Full boom. Let's go. Now, I know in a previous video I talked about dealing with the full-blown politics of the new world in One Piece. Okay. Before I've dealt to a degree with the role of, or at least necessity of the Shichibukai. I know I've dropped about the Yonko being a political entity, political element entity. That's what they are. But I'm gonna drop this video to talk about everything that we've been introduced to in One Piece and the potential of others because of full-blown information related to what we've been dealt with. First of all, let's start with all these entities and try to keep it all, outlined here. Of course, we got the Yonko, the four emperors, okay? We got Red-Haired Shanks, 100 Beast Kaido, Big Mem, Charlotte Linlin, and Blackbeard Marshall D. Teach. Now, we also have the Shichibukai, which is constantly in flux. I'm just going to name all of them, all 10, and then there was almost Firefist Portuguese DAs. But before, let's see. Well, let's start with Foreman. You have, Laws now too, but you had Sir Crocodile, you had Jimbei, Sea Knight, Foreman. Who else is Foreman? Gecko Moria was Foreman. Teach, Blackbeard was Foreman. And now, Surgeon of Death, Trafalgar D. Waterloo. Law was a former Shichibukai. That's 5 now. You have 7, which is crazy. Now, the Shichibukai, you got Dracula, Hawkeye's Mihawk. Yes, I know people know this, but it's important to remember all this stuff. Heavenly Demon, Dangyo de Do Flamingo, Ike Joka. Even though his position is questionable at this point, we don't know if he got dropped or not. You got the talent Bartholomew Kuma. People reminding, aka PX0, no, that whole brain. I don't buy that nonsense that he's mindless. And I don't buy he's gotten weaker. In fact, he should have gotten more powerful because of his body getting weaponed. Just keeping it real for the people. I may do a separate video on that at some point in the future. I'm not sure. You got Pirate Empress Boa Hancock. And you got, you got 2 more. You got, the unknown Shichibukai 7, who I affectionately, I guess you could say, called Midget Whitebeard, Edward Weeble, Whitebeard Jr. And of course, you have Buggy the Star Clown, who people mad sleep on. That's an entirely different discussion. Now, or it may come up in this, I forget. All I gotta say is there's never been a weak Shichibukai, keeping it real, and I still hold that Law is the weakest of the Shichibukai in history. Keeping that real, 100 with y'all. Full blown. Keeping 1,000, I should say, because 100 too weak these days. Let's see. Now we got the worst generation, and then that includes Blackbeard. But except Blackbeard, we have, of course, Straw Hat and Monkey D. Luffy. Yes, the worst generation is a political entity, which was confirmed by Joka himself, Heavenly Demon Dangyo de Do Flamingo, aka Joker. Joker confirmed that in Chapter 801. Go back and look. Again, Straw Hat Monkey D. Luffy, Mugiwara. You have Eustace Captain Kidd. You have former Rear Admiral Red Flag X Drake, who dudes are mad sleeping on. Do not let KOL, King of Lightning, shout out to Kid. He puts in mad work. I love him. It's my second favorite reviewer in the YouTube anime and manga community, but KOL, you wrong. King, you wrong on this one. X Drake's about that life. Of course, Pirate Hunter Road and Zoro. You got Surgeon of Death, Trafalgar D. Waterloo. Let's see, you got Bossel Hawkins, Scratchman Apu, Killer. You got Capone Gang Busy. And I'm so glad Capone got that hype. Let's go. Well deserved for Capone, because dudes were mad hating. They still mad sleeping on my man, just like Buggy. Still sleeping on both of them cats. You got Uroge and you have Jewelry Bonnie. Okay? That is the worst generation. Do not include Sanji and the rest of the Strides. That is not the worst generation. It's the 11 former supernovas They are no longer supernovas. Understand this. Supernovas are every year there's supernovas. After then, Bartolomeo's was supernova, him and his folks, and Caribou was supernovas, him and his folks. They're super rookies. They were no longer rookies. Cavendish was a supernova before them. Okay? They're not supernovas. They are the worst generation. Respect them as such. Dudes be downplaying because they're just supernovas. No, they are not supernovas. They came up. They clearly all came up and they still alive. Shoot, Basso Hawkins wrecked Brownbeard. And I know people want to downplay Brownbeard like you ain't nothing. But still, that just goes to show you these veterans, you know. I mean, you got Kid out here attacking ships. You got Luffy and Law fighting, you know, Doflamingos, the Don Quixote pirates, I should just say. And then, you know, looking out, going after Kaido. Luffy declaring Cold War against Big Mom. You know, the Kid, Hawkins, Apu Alliance trying to go after Shanks. Freaking crazy as a mug out here. But another political entity. You got the Revolutionary Army. Now, we don't know about that one dude that shown. He's probably the real second in command. You know, not Sabo. For all we know, Sabo could be like 10 spots down the way. He's the chief of staff, second commander of the Revolutionary Army. That doesn't mean he's in there. Lord Nekomamushi and Duke Inuyarashi could be, if they are revolutionaries, it could be ahead of him. I definitely got Ivankov, Emperor Ivankov ahead of him. The time Bartholomew Kuma definitely ahead of him. What a double and triple OGs at? You telling me he just came up? Come on, man. Dude's 21, 22 years old. Hell no. 22 years old? Nah, bro. Nah, I ain't buying that. So, there's that, you know. I'm named off the Revolutionary Army. I mean, there's a lot to be sown. Monkey D. Dragon, the leader, the revolutionary Monkey D. Dragon, the world's most wanted man, is calling in his commanders from around the world. You know it's about to be fire. We're about to see some things. There is a huge political entity. Then, of course, we got the family of the D's, the D clan. Doflamingo talk about, that's a whole, what? So is there some of them group like O'Hara was? Maybe that's where Goldie Roger came from. We don't know. Luffy doesn't know what D's mean. Sengoku holding back, he knows. The Golden Buddha, as I affectionately call him, who's gotten a lot better as a character post-time skip, might I add. He knows stuff. And Wise Dragon got the Shandoran tattoo. But anyways, folks know some stuff. The D's apparently. Now, what other political entity? That's 5 for numbers to me. The Yonko, the Shichibukai, the Worst Generation, the Revolutionary Army, the D's. Not these nuts, but the D's. Then of course you got the Marines, who dudes mad over. They don't understand. You don't equate the Marines with the world government. They're two separate political entities at this point. As we see in clashing and stuff. Okay, the Gorosei, I guess I could add them as their own political entity. And you got the Tenryubi, the Celestial Dragons. So what is that, 9? And then of course now we got Germa 66, aka Warmonger, led by the Vinsmoke family, Sanji's folks. And who's the leader? Sanji's pops. His father. His dad. That's the leader. So now we got 10 political entities. We're not even including the independent nations, islands, kingdoms, you know, Wano Kingdom / Wano Country, think Kano Kingdom / Kano Country. I don't think they're aligned with the world government. I don't think the Giants of Elbaf are aligned. Who else? Oh, of course, King Elizabeth II of Providence, he ain't aligned as far as we know. So, I mean, and is King Rico, I don't know if Dressrosa is still aligned with the world government or not. I know they were giving tribute money, but under Doflamingo, so I don't know if they're aligned or not. I don't know where their allegiances are. Okay? So there's an independent nation, so that's another whole political entity, you know. And if there's, you know, the Germa 66, then you know there's other political entities out here. So we got the Underground Brokers Association. That's another political entity. Even though it seemed like Cypher Pull here just settled. Okay, was up in there with Rob Lucci. So the Underground Brokers, there are other political entities out there that we're steadily unraveling this onion. And yo, there's a lot of which I've known, but even more than I could have imagined, most likely, of all these powerful dudes. And most likely, people were saying, I'm getting sick and tired of Luffy fight. Luffy's journey to become Pirate King is going to be more difficult than Goldie Roger. Confirmed. All these dudes out here that are powerhouses. Now, I don't think he's going to have to fight the Revolutionary Army. But he may, in fact, throw down with his pops. He may, because either they talk and, I think they're going to have a conversation. Him and his pops might not see eye to eye at first. And they may throw down. And they may be adversaries at first. Because he was also indicating, even though he indicated back at Logtown, that, cool, Luffy, alright, you became a pirate, cool. You do what you do as far as you follow, you long follow your not your heart, but, you follow where things flow, pretty much where fate flows and all that kind of jazz. Well, after Saba, you would think he would be cool with Luffy, taking down Doflamingo and such, right? Joker. But he was not supportive of that. He was saying, he kind of messing up things. I mean, they did take, as far as we know, they took out the weapons factory and got the guns and all that there, the weapons and whatnot. The artillery, maybe the bombs and whatever else. But he was not happy with Luffy. He's saying Luffy interfering with stuff. So there may be a conflict of interest there. Okay? And we're not including the rest of the world's generation. You see what I'm saying? So they're throwing the cogs and gears all out of place according to law. Like, all these conflicting factors. Now, we got all that out the way. Now, putting all the players on the table. At least most that we know of. And of course, this is including a lot of these old timers out there from Roger's generation and whatnot. What does this all mean? Okay. Chaos is about to be formed in the One Piece world. Chaos doesn't just happen. Even if there's a vacuum of power, powerlessness, that doesn't mean that chaos will be present. It doesn't work like that. Chaos will be formed. And these different entities and how they intermingle and stuff is going to come to a head. And there may be a lot of bodies dropping. Okay? These seas are about to get very dangerous. They're already dangerous enough. But there was political stability. With the worst generation pushing things, the worst generation, the Revolutionary Army, but they mainly about the world government. So there's that, and they've been known for seemingly a while now. But the way that the worst generation specifically is pushing some things, and probably the D's about to come active again. It's about to shake up the whole game. And all that stability that was built up, I mean, you got, because of Luffy, mainly, he's fought for Shichibukai, okay? About defeats. But he's taken down, he's helped to personally vacate, 4 of them? Depending if Doflamingo's included on the list, at least 3 confirmed. Sir Crocodile Gecko Mori and laws aligned, and we know he's no longer Shichibukai because his bounty wasn't just unfrozen, it was doggone raised to 500 million, just like Luffy's. Hello? So when you look at this, the politics, the worst generation represents not just chaos. The worst representation. The worst generation represents change, dramatic change in a new era. Okay. Doflamingo talk about an era of smile. No, it's not an era of smile, even for them devil. No, it's an era of rapid change. Okay. Rapid evolution will occur in this era for the entire world. Good, bad, and indifferent. The worst generation is pushing that, and that's what they represent. They're symbol of that. That's what their political entity is. You got all these independent players pushing, and their force alone is pushing things. That's the mentality of their generation. Now understand about the worst generation. Uroge and Capone are in their 40s. And so is Teach. Okay? They're all in their 40s. So the worst generation, I mean, you got some dudes older than Shanks. See what I'm saying? So their generation isn't exactly the best named. Because, I mean, Luffy's 19. Law is in his 20s. Kid is in his 20s. Like, kid's like, wait, 25 now? 23? Law is like, I think, 26. I think X Drake is about the same age. Who else? Who else? Julie Bonnie's probably somewhere around there as well. I forget her age, if it ever was stated. Who else? Killer's probably about his 20s and maybe 30s. You see what I'm point? And Zoro's 21. So you have this age gap. So when it's saying generation, they came up around the same time, but they're not all the same age. And that in of itself is producing different mentalities, because here you got some of these older dudes. Now, we don't know too much about Orochi and stuff, but he doesn't seem, even though with his devil fruit and stuff, he seems calmer. Capone is this OG, this double OG, okay? He is a gangster through and through. See what I'm saying? Teach is 2 decades on the seas as a pirate. He's different. They have different, but similar. They still pushing to get things done, but they are willing to not, because a rogue doesn't seem like he's upsetting the boat. But he see, Capone and Teach seem to be working with the system as is. X Drake is uncertain, but he's working under Kaido in some form or fashion. Kid and Luffy, especially, they bucking all kinds of system. They both looking like we about that Pirate King jet. Now, screw all this whole system, man. We don't believe in that, Joe. And of course, Zoro and Killer right there with him as right hand man, as the vice captain / the unofficial vice captain / first mate. Okay, and both of them got crews that's some killers. Okay, or some potential killers. The Straw Hats and the Kid Pirates. Oh man. So there's that. Julie Bonnie, her crew got screwed. Julie Bonnie's just pissed at so many people at this point. So she's kind of in the Luffy Kid camp. Law is kind of in the middle of the road, kind of old. So there's a mix in that worst generational change. The old and it represents kind of the transitional period between the eras of the Great Pirate Age / Whitebeard's era and this new era. They still in the early years, 2 years in. It's early, so of course there's gonna be some conflicting ideologies, but they're still, at the end of the day, still the same end goal. Blackbeard still wrecking shot. Capone came up. You see how he shut up Pecos? Shoot. Luffy Pirate King. He making waves. He got 3 Yonkos against him, and he's cool with shit. I mean, he's got connections all over with the Shichibukai and everybody else. You see what I'm saying? The worst generation is making waves. They making big plays. Okay, regardless of their position, they got influence. They got connections. They're making a change. Now the Yonko represent the established order of the power. The established order in the sense that without the Yonko, the seas of the New World would be in complete disorder, complete mishap. Even, we saw it happen when Whitebeard, Edward Newgate fell. When he died, when he got body bag, more or less. The whole place was all up in arms and whatnot. People thought that was great. Oh, that wasn't great. In the New World, no. The Yonko provide stability. They provide, I won't say order. They just represent stability. They represent a calm. Under the Yonko, dudes don't mess with you, at least to a lesser degree. Okay, places like Fishman Island make things interesting, but dudes are just scared. They know what it means to mess with a Yonko, unless you dudes like Luffy and Kid who don't really give a damn, so they could care less. For the most part. So there's the stability. You got the change of the worst generation. The Shichibukai. The Shichibukai are very interesting. They're the privateers in One Piece. But the Shichibukai, the sly Shichibukai, as Doflamingo mentioned, they represent the conflicting interests of the One Piece world. What do I mean by that? The Shichibukai are pirates. Government dogs. They're not really government dogs. None of them are. They're all doing their own thing. They're pirates who utilize protection of world government to meet their ends. The only person we haven't seen who's truly a private, truly about what he's about, seemingly, is Mihawk, pure and simple. Everybody else is doing their own thing and got their own agendas. Kuma is with the revolutionaries. Joker was running Dressrosa, the smile under Kaido, in partnership with Kaido, running the underworld. Then you got Sir Crocodile making a civil war happen on Alabasta, freaking trying to find the ancient weapon with the poneglyph and Nico Robin and everything. Then you got doggone Weeble out here wrecking shop, destroying all the lower divisions of the remnants of the Whitebeard pirates, and freaking just body bagging civilians, 600 on his last go. Destroying towns and stuff. I mean, Doflamingo, it said he destroyed 8 towns just for Baby 5. So there's that too. Who else? Jinbei, okay. Jinbei was just, all his agenda was protecting Fishman Island. That's all he cared about. Really, that's why he took it up. Okay. Same thing of the protection of Whitebeard and Big Man. And now kind of sort of Luffy as well. Let's see, who else? Gecko Moore is just floating in Thriller Bark. Last time we saw, even though, especially after all the years of his battle with Kaido, he lost his entire crew, said it was on par, whatever. There's that. He was doing experimentations and stuff with zombies and whatever else with Dr. Hogback, and Corona was there, and Absalom and all that there, whatever he was doing. Who else? Law, he was on Punk Hazard with Caesar Clown and whatnot. Teach used the system, completely breaking or at least going to Impel Down, and then Marine 4, he used the system. What else? Who else was on there? I think about everybody. Oh, Boa Hancock just for the Amazon Lily, just for the Amazons. That's it. The Kuja clan, the Kuja pirates or whatever. That's all she care about, is protecting her folk, just like Jinbei. That's all they care about. They're about their own agenda. So they represent the conflict of interest in the world. Because there's a lot of conflict of interest throughout One Piece. I ain't gonna get into it because this video gonna be too long. Okay. There's that. The D's. The D's represent all the mystery and everything we don't know about the ancient world and whatever else, the ancient history and all that there, the void century. The D's represent antiquity. Okay. Let's see. The revolutionaries. While the worst generation represents change, the revolutionary army represents defiance. And you would say, well, wouldn't it be changed around? Defiance of corruption, defiance of oppression, defiance. It's a rebel with a cause. Okay, so it ain't just change, because you can have change in the world, but changing the system is an entirely different element itself. The revolutionary arms are defined in them, and that defiance requires challenging and changing the entire system. Think about it. Then we go to the Marines. The Marines represent order. This is why I said there was a difference between the Yonko and the Marines. Remember I said the Yonko weren't representing order. They were representing stability. The Marines represent order. Absolute justice. Even though amongst the Marines we can go through all the forms of justice, and you add Rob Lucci with dark justice in the world government, there's different forms of justice. I mean, Akainu with his absolute justice, but he's willing to murder anybody who stands in the way, but he'll go against the girls at the same time. So there's that. It's Fleet Admiral. Aokiji, former Admiral Aokiji Kuzan with his lazy justice. Kizaru with his nonchalant. Admiral Kizaru Borsalino with his nonchalant justice. Admiral Fujitora Isho with his, people say blind justice, I call it real justice. His fairness, his actual, individuals, they deal with what they deal with on their own. Not just because of some label that they're given, but who they are as a person and what they have done. Who he or she is as a person, what he or she has done, I should say. And we don't know how Green Bull gets down. Real Goku, or however you say his name. So there's that. The world government represents corruption. As the revolutionaries defy the corruption, world government represents corruption. They represent shady stuff. They represent, but they're okay. Corruption in the world, I should say, because there are a few good things. Some you got like the Nefertari family who rules Alabasta, and they're part of the world government, but they aren't the world government. See, there's a difference. The world government is, while they're aligned nations, they're not the world government structure, if that makes sense. So the world government itself is corrupt, pure and simple. We saw that from day one, chapter 1, episode 1. Okay? Or at least chapter 3. Yeah, chapter 3, episode 1. Excuse me. Now, let's see. Who else? World government reigns. The 10 will be the celestial dragons. The celestial dragons, what do they represent? Celestial dragons are kind of hard to say. They represent they're easy actually. Now I think about elitism. Okay, pure and simple. They represent an elitism that somehow a select group is more not influential, but more, they're superior to everybody else. How? Why? Classism to the nth degree. The girls say. Now let's talk about the girls say. Okay? Because the girls say what they represent, it's kind of hard to say. We need to know more about the girls say, specifically each individual, because I think they're not. It's the same thing of Akainu. Sakazuki, I think Sakazuki has more, especially his backstory. I think it's going to be arguably most tragic. It's going to be the best backstory. And I'm not a Sakazuki fan. Okay, and so this is not biased. Sakazuki, the way he views the world, there's a lot that goes down in it, because he's more savage than any pirate out there. Seriously. From what we see, he's more savage than anybody. Name one person who's more savage than Sakazuki. I'll wait. Okay? So there's that. And what we saw from him as a kid, Sir Crocodile was carrying a gat. He was carrying a pistol. But Sakazuki had a blade, and he looked like he was straight from the slums for real though. Okay? And then why did he join the Marines? His magma and everything, and his absolute justice is on some other level. But it representing the Marines, and it's crazy, man. But the girls say I think they represent the mysteries of Marines. I really do. I know I said that about sort of, kind of, the D's. The girls say I think are serious mysteries. While the world government is corrupt, because it's not just the girls. Even though the girls say does things like O'Hara, I think there's more to it that we don't even know about. What all went down. The girls say it's just a bunch of mystery, man. We know nothing about these dudes, seriously. So what I will say in finishing off this video, for it not to be extremely long, is what I see about the girls say, because I don't really talk about them, because we don't really have much information to go off of. What the girls say, I think each of the 5 elders, runs a specific section of the world government. Now, and I was talking to another to kind of clarify, the Gandhi looking one, the swordsman, I'm not exactly sure what he runs. He runs something, I don't know. Maybe he's connected with the Shichibukai? Maybe he chooses the Shichibukai? Somebody's got to choose. It makes sense. Shichibukai or something. I don't know. Who else was it? I think the Blondie, okay, still with the whole Sanji possible grandfather, I was saying father, grandfather for the longest, possible grandfather, great grandfather, something, okay. They haven't changed and looked for over 2 decades. Don't know why. So there's that. But I think he runs the Marines. Come on, he looks like Garp. He's got the body. We see how Kong looks. These dudes are big. Look at Akainu. They're big. He looks like he was a former Marine, ready to throw hands. May have been the commander-in-chief during Rogers' era. Unlikely, because he was a girl. So he may have been a former fleet admiral himself. I don't know if there was a commander-in-chief Kong may have just been promoted that because they still need that War Machine that is Kong. If Sean watches this, he calls him War Machine, whatever. More could be talked about Commander in Chief Kong, Commander Kong, at another time, another video. But then, let's see, the dude who looks like he's freaking Victorian era England, late the 1890s, looking like America. If you play Red Dead Redemption, they got them kind of dudes. The dude that's bald that looked like Gorbachev, the former Soviet Union leader, right? Him. Okay. I'm convinced he leads Cypherpol. All Cypherpols. I am convinced he looks like a straight up Cypherpol agent. Straight up. Full blown dude with the mustache. Now the dude with the judge's apparel, like kind of, I was getting him confused with the tall, skinny dude with the mustache. No. The dude with the judge's curls and whatever. I think he obviously leads the judiciary branch. Now that I think about it, homeboy who's skinny and such, he may be in charge of like judiciary. Does that include Impel Down though? Because I know it includes in his lobby. Impel Down. Impel Down might be under Tall Man's if it's not under Wig in his judiciary branch, because they did say the 3 great establishments was in his lobby, Impel Down, and Marine Ford, the Marine/Navy HQ. So if it is split in the whole policing, then it may be under Tall Man's thing. Okay, but the Ghani, maybe he just deals with foreign affairs. Okay, foreign affairs in the Shichibukai. That's my best guess as to what it is. But those are my thoughts on the grocery. Those are my thoughts on the political breakdown in the New World. German 6'6". I mean, come on. What is, and these other dudes, they just in the underground, they just show, like, they just represent that in our world, it mirrors with One Piece world, that there are other players besides the headliners. There are secret societies, secret organizations, secret political entities that most people are not aware of. Just like German 6'6". What does Nami say? That mythical army? Assassins and stuff that got swayed, government using. Look, I mean, Cypherpol agents, they can probably do stuff. You look at CP9 and they were kept secret. But there's probably some hiring, political assassination, some powerful dudes that they can't take out. And here's a question I've been asked. Oh, this goes to guys like the Vin Smokes and stuff, right? Who took in these level 6ers? If you ain't sending admirals, the fleet admiral and stuff, if you ain't sending Shichibukai, in the situation of Burundi world, you had Cypherpol. Who taking these dudes out? Either taking them out or who is capturing level 6 dudes so notorious that their names are getting written out of history. Who is capturing these dudes or taking them out? Dudes like the Vin Smokes. Guaranteed. I'm calling it now. Dudes like the Vin Smokes are German 6'6". They may be taken out. In fact, they may be soon to go to war with the revolutionaries. If they're aligned with the world government. Or they may fuck. Who knows? When you have these independent entities, boy, there's so much stuff that could go down. Like you have like groups like Al Qaeda and such. Okay? Independent groups, the Taliban. I'm not ISIS, I don't include that because that's on some CIA or something. I ain't getting into that right now. But unexpected one to like, comment, subscribe, tell me your thoughts. I know this video was lengthy, but I had a lot to address, a lot to break down, a lot to deal with, because there's a lot that Oda is presenting right now, and he continues to present, and it's going to be fascinating, phenomenal. I just not expecting this direction from Oda, which I gotta clap it up, man. I gotta clap it up. This is why I call One Piece not only Oda's masterpiece, but a masterpiece, an artistic masterpiece, because he does stuff like this with the Vin Smokes and such. Alright, y'all, have a beautiful day, beautiful night, peace. And we still gotta learn about the girls, and there's so much. Oh, of course, the D's. The D's! The Revolutionary Army. Oh, this is beautiful. Most of the worst generation. The young. Oh, they're just doing too much. Shichibukai. So many mysteries yet to be revealed.